Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Cheers and welcome to Trades Lady Happy Hour, the weekly show where I introduce you to a incredible woman in the trades. We've been doing this for coming up on 2 years now, and each week I meet with a different woman from various areas of kind of the automotive and adjacent trades, and we've poked around to different trades as well, kind of on the outskirts of automotive, kind of expanding to show all of the incredible women that are doing just amazing things out in still very male-dominated fields. They don't get their praises sung very often. They don't often get a light shown on them and their stories shared. So this is me offering an opportunity and kind of giving back to create a platform for other women to have their voices heard and to have their stories heard. So thank you guys for tuning in. A huge thank you to Drive Time for being my partner and my sponsor on this and helping make it possible for me to keep it going. And a huge thank you to all of you who have been so supportive over the last 2 years and kind of keep tuning in and watching and checking out these shows. I am working, some of you may have noticed or been following and seeing that I've been having some issues with Instagram being a terrible platform. Sorry, Instagram. They keep changing stuff and making it really difficult to continue doing this podcast here. So when I started doing this, it was kind of on a whim, and it was something that I thought would be really cool, but I didn't expect it to last as long as it has, and it's been just something I've really enjoyed. It's been an amazing blessing to be able to meet with all of these incredible women. And it's been a joy to share with you guys, and I've gotten such great feedback. So I want to keep it going, but Instagram is not the platform for it. So stay tuned. I am working on some solutions. It looks like YouTube and Facebook kind of simultaneously are going to be the solution. So stay tuned. That is coming soon. Don't worry, I will make sure that it is very easy to find it. For all of you who have been loyally watching, but it can't continue to live here because we keep losing them. We keep having technical difficulties, and then they get lost, and that's not cool, and it's not fair to the women who were interviewed on those weeks. So, so stay tuned for that coming up soon. Of course, you know it is SEMA crunch time, which means that I am insane. I'm at the shop right now. Will be for most of the evening, but I'm trying to do all the things, and I'm trying to get that switched over to a new platform as soon as possible. I'm hoping it'll happen before SEMA, but no promises. Just stay tuned, and I will keep you posted as we move along with that. But for the time being, welcome. Thank you guys for joining so very much. I'm really excited about tonight's guest, Kristen Breslin. She actually was out here a month or so ago already. God, time flies. But she was out helping us get everything prepped for paint. She is a automotive technician, so she was operating a little outside of her wheelhouse when she was out here, but that's always kind of fun. One of the cool things about the all-female builds is being able to either share your skills with somebody else or learn some new skills yourself. And even if you're a pro in the industry, like Kristen, who's had years and years of experience as a technician, she hadn't really ventured into the bodywork or the metalwork side of things, so she got to try on some new tools and new skills. But it was great having her around here at the shop, got to know her a little bit. But of course, we're busy working and not always necessarily getting as much time to hang out and talk. So there's still a lot of her story that I do not know, and I'm very excited to hear more about her journey. And excited to introduce you guys to her as well. She's a total badass. She's been in the industry for a really long time. Master technician with Toyota, and in her region, which is a pretty large region, she is the only female master tech, so nice accomplishment for her. But without further ado, I'm going to see if she's in the room and have her join in, and she can tell you all about her story herself. There she is. Hi.
Ogie, how's it going?
Good. How are you? My head's getting chopped off. How are you?
I'm good. I miss you. I want to come back.
Come back. We need you.
I know. Listen, we could talk about the build all day.
I know. Seriously, you seriously got to get your butt back out here. We're like almost done with body stuff, like paint and all the rest of it. We're cut and clear right now, which means like next week, this weekend, we start reassembling stuff and trying to make stuff like problem solve all the things. So
Ready?
this is where we need you.
I might just hop on a plane midnight Friday or something. I can totally just.
You
sing.
should. Even just for a weekend.
Even for a weekend, any day with you guys at the garage is a good time.
Yay! I love it. That makes me happy. How have you been?
Besides hitting myself in the head a bunch of times.
A bunch of times?
That was a pry bar last week, so I had a pretty face.
Wait, did you hit yourself in the head with a pry bar more than once or just once?
This was the one that I came out to see you with. That was a skateboarding accident. And then this was last week was a pry bar to the head. So, if I'm not hurt, I'm not alive. That's what I've come to the conclusion.
Can I ask what you were doing with said pry bar that you decided to smack yourself in the face with it?
I was removing rear struts on a 94 Lexus SC300 and they were completely like disconnected, but I'm just prying and it was not dropping. And I'm like, what's going on? Next thing you know, it just shot at my head and I dropped it and I'm like, oh, come on. I was like, I have a happy hour in a week. Like, come on, people.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Give yourself a quick introduction to everybody who doesn't know you. What your name is, where you're from, and what you do.
My name is Kristen Breslin. I live in right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been with Toyota about 10 years, actually. This past August, I've been a master tech for 5 years. I very much enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I'm really excited to get to meet all these women at SEMA and really bring this women automotive bodywork, everything, just make it bigger and better than it already is.
Absolutely. I love it. So tell us how this journey started for you. Let's go back in time. So you're female master tech with Toyota now. This did not happen overnight, I assume. How did the story begin?
All right. So post high school, I had a bunch of odd jobs. I did a couple years at Villanova for college. I had a bunch of random jobs and I landed at an auto parts store. I was driving for auto parts and just kind of getting to talk to the different mechanics and the service writers at the shops and stuff. And it didn't really dawn on me that that's what was going to happen, but just kind of knuckled and buckled and ended up at another parts store. They put me on the counter. I was doing commission. I was doing sales. I was talking, kind of learning the lingo, what a tie rod was, what an axle shaft, just all that little stuff that didn't really mean anything at the time, even though I really liked it. Then entered the recession of 2008, 2010. And my boss and me at the time, we would have happy hour just like now. Cheers. We would have happy hour and we were like, yeah, this place kind of feels like it's going downhill, and we were like, yeah, we'll just ride it down like the Titanic, figure it out after we're underwater. And I was like, yeah, that's great. And I went home and I'm like,
that's not great.
I can't do that. I was like, I'm too young, but too old to just kind of ride it down. So I went and took a tour at UTI out in Exton, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 minutes from my house. Took a tour at night in between classes. So it was real quiet in the hallway. And if anybody's ever been in UTI tech school, it's not quiet at all. And they brought me in the engine lab and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. Just kind of checking everything out. And I'm like, this is something I want to do. I was like, the drive was there. The pull was there. I didn't even realize. And I basically quit my job in 2 weeks, started school, hit the ground running and was like, I got moves to make. And I started school March of 2012 and I graduated May of 2013 and I have been with Toyota since August of 12. So I mean it was school and Toyota just on repeat like a spin cycle. I mean I was driving 110 miles a day between going to school, going to work, coming home, just cars. My wife will tell you once we get started on cars, we don't stop. So It's been an interesting road. I definitely started from the bottom. They put me right on Express, right with all the rest of the guys, the kids, whoever. When you get hired, you just start out on the oil change rack. And I basically worked my ass off and gave them every ASE I could and was like, I'm ready to go to school. How do I become a master? I need 5 years in all my ASEs. I just kept giving it to them. They kept sending me down for training, and I'm hybrid certified. I'm probably going to be training for the BZX4, which is the new Toyota fully electric vehicle. So I think it's built with like a Tesla platform. So, I mean, electric is the new future. So here we go.
I love it. All right, that was a very accelerated timeline of what your life was like. So now let's break it down and go a little slower.
I'm a little nervous.
We love Kristen's excitement. All right, so how did you wind up at the parts store to begin with? Was it just totally random and like happenstance that you became a parts driver?
Oh, I feel like, so there was this parts store called Maycar Auto Supply, and it was a basic, like known auto parts store in my little neighborhood that I lived in. And like, it was just kind of a job where I think it was in the paper, and I just kind of was like, hey, you're hiring drivers, let's go. I was probably only getting paid like $9 an hour. I mean, it was basically like, here, just drive around. And I really got to make some awesome connections with some of these technicians and mechanics that I would meet. Like, the one guy took me out to the Westchester airport and let me fly a plane with him. Like, he was just, yeah, like,
Oh, wow.
like cool stuff. The one guy gave me a car. Like, he's like, how do you get to work? I'm like, I take the bus, man, whatever I got to do. And he's like, I'm going to give you a car. I'm like, who just gives somebody a car? I was like, I promise I will take good care of it. I will do everything it needs. And I did. That little 96 Plymouth Acclaim. That thing was Road Runner.
How old were you? Was it, so this was like virtually out of high school, a little bit of college. So
21-ish. I mean, just kind of a bunch of odd jobs before that, give or take, whether it's janitorial. I was a manager at dry cleaners from like 16 on. I mean, I like whatever it was. I'm like, job here, I'll take that. Yeah, another job. I had like 4 jobs.
So you didn't like really have like an idea of what you wanted to be when you grew up, quote unquote, right? Like,
ironically, there was a dream.
Tell me the dream.
I wanted to be a landscape architect, actually.
Oh.
I fell in love with horticulture. I took it as a BS science class in 12th grade and absolutely fell in love with it and loved plants and the things and everything you could do and just designing these entire landscapes and selling them. And I went to Villanova. My mom worked at Villanova. She just retired this year after like 30 years. Cool. I went there for like 2 years. I was doing full-time work and part-time schooling. And I was like, hey, nothing against Villanova, love Nova, but you don't have a landscape architecture program. So I really wanted to transfer out, and they didn't really like help me because I was a part-time student, and they were just like, yeah, okay, we'll get credits. I'm like, well, get credits for what? So that kind of fizzled out, and that's kind of how I just was like, I need a job. I'm living at home. I'm 2021. Like, found the parts store. I mean, I was driving around like a 91 Ford Ranger with no radio. I literally brought a boombox and had it battery powered in the car. I'm like, you gotta have tunes if you're driving around all day.
I totally had a little boombox in my first car as well. So you're not alone. I feel you. I had a Fisher Price one though, just for grins and giggles.
Do you still have it?
I do. I doubt it works. No, it was this cute little like Fisher Price thing with a microphone.
I think I had one.
Was in the passenger seat. Had to be. It was the tape deck, and then they could.
Yeah,
the microphone.
You're in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Oh, the good old days.
They were days. So yeah, I spent probably 2 years with Maycar, and actually one of the mechanics, the one who gave me the car, his name was Bob. He's like, hey, Parts for Imports is hiring. He's like, it's actually all girls over there. If you want to go see what's up, they're paying like $10 an hour. I'm like, ooh, here we go.
Okay, wait, there's so much. So wait, first of all, we have to go back to this landscape thing. Did like the automotive thing just kind of like you went off on this path and you were just kind of following it down the rabbit hole? Like, did it at some point become apparent to you that you like wanted it more than you wanted landscape? Did the landscape thing just fizzle, or is that still like in you?
It's probably still in me. I feel like I would have to go to school for it. I was actually talking to my teenager and trying to let him know, like, you can go to tech school and like explore all these options, which I didn't have where I went to high school. Like, tech school was for like the flunkies. They were like, you know, you didn't make it, so you're going here. But now it's like you can take automotive, cooking, and welding and all these things that I didn't have. yeah, they can take all kinds of stuff. I mean, they have electrical, carpentry, all this stuff. And I'm like,
I just want to know what automotive cooking is.
oh, well, never had burnt oil for breakfast because you can't get that smell out.
Oh my gosh. Do you ever think about the landscaping thing and think that that's something you might still want to pursue?
I forget where we took down my picture to make my beautiful abode here. I actually still have my final project, which was like designing basically like what you would sell to somebody, present them with this whole architecture thing. And I mean, I don't know. I'm doing really good with the automotive. I really like it. I didn't know I was gonna like it this much, if that's fair to say. I mean, like I literally was like, hey, I have 6 years with auto parts, and I know like what they're called. I know how much they cost. I know part numbers in the back of my head that I don't need to know. I said, all I really need to know is like how to take it apart and put it back together, which you still don't learn in tech school. You learn all the theory, but there's no like this. I mean, Toyota's first step for everything is drain engine coolant, no matter what. Drain engine coolant. You're doing oil change, drain the coolant. You're doing tires, drain the coolant. I mean, whoever translated from Japanese to English is like, drain coolant. That's what you need to do. Drain the coolant. And I'm like, why? We're doing tires and brakes. So, I mean, you made me think now, though. That landscape thing's definitely.
Oh no! I mean, I don't want to like throw you off track here. I always find it curious if it was just like the passion for automotive became so strong that it replaced that, or if you found other ways to incorporate the horticulture and the landscaping in your life in some way, or if it just kind of like your life just took a different path and you're like, all right, like I'm happy, let's go.
I think it definitely took a different path. And this year alone, I mean, meeting Lori Johnson and Dana with Tech Force Foundation. I mean, there is such a world out here that I have not even experienced. So like for me to be in my little bay working for 10 years and I'm like, what's up? We're doing it. What's going on? And now it's like, I mean, my mind is blown. I'm going to a conference next week with Lori. They're doing this whole tools conference, and like I'm bringing the kids, and I'm like, I get to do more learning because I think a big problem. So I really want my L1, not to jump around, but I really, really, really want my L1. That's kind of something that I've been roadblocking for a little bit. COVID didn't help. My knee surgeries didn't help. I failed once. I have the stuff to learn, but I feel like as you're out of school, it's really hard to, you know, I'm down in the dumps all day. Like, here's this, rip out an interior, do a trans, do an engine, do whatever you have to do. So the L1's kind of been like, there's no real class for it either. Like you kind of just, so I'm excited to go to this little conference in a few weeks and just kind of get more knowledge thrown at me where it's like, okay, rethink, get back into like school mode, lack of better terms.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, that's an awesome thing. There's not a ton of people with L1s. I have no doubt that you will manage to get there. Just stick with it. So you're working at the parts place. You kind of ended there by chance. And you just kind of are following this trail along and kind of continuing on. The guys that you connected with, these contacts you made, and like you seem to have some sort of like crazy guardian angel that was like having people give you cars. What do you attribute that to, right? Because some people like they have a job and it's just a job and they punch the clock and they leave, right? What was it that made this different for you? Was it you? Was it where you were at? Was it just luck?
I think it is me. There was guys where, so on Saturday, nobody wants to work Saturdays. And like, you know, I get a call from a store, you know, 55 minutes away or whatever. I'm about to leave and like, you know, they need an oxygen sensor. And I'm like, well, we're closing. I'm like, but I'll drive it up to you. So like I would drive that. I know what it was like to need to get that car done. I feel like I already like had it like embedded within me. And I didn't realize till I went to school and like, just hit the ground running and was like, oh, I want a good GPA. I want SOC. I want to be the best. And I know everybody starts that when they start their journey in school, whatever they're doing. But like to have that fire under my butt was just like, no, there is no turning back. It was more of like, all right, I'm a little older. By the time I started school, I think I was 26. So I felt a little out of place going back to school where there's this like 18, 20-year-olds. And I'm like,
I want to talk about that. Because I was
like
too,
5 girls.
right? I was there too. I wasn't as old as you when I went back, I don't think. So I'm curious what that experience was like. You've been working in a parts place and now you're deciding to go to school, and like you said, you toured at night and it was totally different from in between classes to when you actually started. What was going to UTI like as a 26-year-old? Are you frozen again? You're frozen again, aren't you? Or am I frozen?
You're frozen.
Damn it. Am I
You're back. Hold on.
I'm back. I'm back. Did you hear me at all? You're frozen. Damn it. I hate this. No, it's her. Is it me? Is it her? Can you guys still hear me? God. So frustrating. Come on, Instagram. Can you guys still hear me? I feel like this is like a broken record, me asking if our reception is okay. My goodness. Are you guys able to hear me okay? It looks like, yes, she's frozen and she's gone. Wah, wah, wah. All right, hopefully we'll get her back. She's had quite the interesting experience, hasn't she? I freaking love it. Let's see. Kris, I'm inviting you back. I think it's on your end.
Back.
You're back. Are you on Wi-Fi? Are you on Wi-Fi, my dear?
I am. Do you want me to get off?
I wonder, maybe try getting off and see if maybe it's...
Will I lose you if I get out of this real quick?
What's that?
Will I lose you if I get out of Instagram?
No, just like swipe down and hit the Wi-Fi button if you're on an iPhone. I'm assuming she's on an iPhone. That's a bad assumption. And she's gone. Are you back? Are you back?
I'm back.
Can you hear me?
I'm here. I'm here.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed. What's that?
I didn't hear what you said about how you went to school or what happened when you went back.
Well, just I was the same age. I mean, I wasn't quite as old as you when you went. I was 23, 22, 23, which still felt like I was 100 years older than everybody who I went to school with. But I'm so curious what your experience was like. I just remember it was very different. It was weird for a number of reasons, but I'm curious what your experience was like.
It was weird. To blanket it all, it was weird, but you know, because there is such an age difference. I mean, I was kind of young too, so like there was, 18, 19, 20, but there was also like, 30, 35 trying to rechange their steps too. I did like, everybody that first day of engines is like, oh, I want to be the best. I'm going to get 100%. And like, I really wanted like perfect attendance and like, I wanted to like really come out of there. And I lost perfect attendance on day 2 because I was 1 minute late because he told us to park in a different parking lot. And I come in and I'm like, you're really going to take it from me? I parked where you want. And I like, that was the minute it was like, damn, real life just got you. And I'm like, all right, I see you. But, I mean, I met some really cool kids. I met some really different kids. There was only like 2-3 girls in the whole school, I think, maybe 4 in like the whole time I was there. 2 or 3 of them I still talk to today. One of them, one of them I still talk to very frequently. A couple I just follow on Instagram, just keep up with and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the one is still in the industry. She went from like Chevy to Penske. I think she got out of like the trenches and now she's doing a little bit of writing or maybe working from home. But it's just nice to see the people that have made it. Even some of the guys, I still follow a bunch of them on Instagram. They
awesome.
From New York and Maryland and I mean, all over. And it's just nice to see their path. And, I'm able to hit them up and be like, hey, how you been? And where you at now? I think a few of them are actually still with Toyota at this moment. And it was nice. there wasn't too much. I didn't get a lot of hate. I didn't get a lot of like flack. I mean, I feel like people were, a lot of the younger kids were really like, hey, we finished class, let's go drink 40s. And I'm like, I'm 26, I gotta go to work. Like, there was no, I was not in party mode. A lot of these kids wanted like, the tuning and the lifting and the lowering and all, and I'm like, I'm stock. I'm so stock. I love lifted and all that stuff, but like when it comes to fixing, 90% of these cars on the road are stock. So I mean, that's where your money's going to come from. And if you have that, that misillusion of like, oh, I'm going to tweak all these cars, like you got to start again from the bottom and earn your way up. But I made
That's
some
a really interesting point.
Yeah, like if you want to do body work and you want to do that West Coast custom stuff, like you got to start somewhere and really master something to have something to give. I mean, you have to have a name for yourself to be able to forth.
Yeah, my motion sensor light just turned the light off.
Did I lose?
No, my motion sensor lights in here, and they turn off on their own, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it to come back on again. So we're just gonna deal with it. You can still see it, right?
Set in the mood.
We just got mood lighting now. All right. Gotta love it. No, that's a really interesting point, and I actually I'd love to chat about that for a hot second too, right? Because I was kind of the same way as you. I didn't explore like anything like other than stock until much later in my career. I was so just about the stock thing. I was fixing cars that were on the road. That was all. Yeah, it was kind of what UTI taught, but it was also, I don't know, I guess it never even occurred to me when I was younger, even though a lot of the kids that I went to school with were doing a lot of the customizing. You were much more intelligent about it. Like you went in intentionally. Mine was just kind of by chance that it happened out that way. But you're right. I think a lot of people get into it thinking, I'm going to do all the custom stuff. And that's great. But it's like, if you want to be a great composer, you also have to learn the basics at first, right?
Yeah. And people learn bypass all that as well. And it's like, whoa, you got to go pay your dues and really like master it because, if you do want to be that great, one bad job, that'll take your whole career. Like, oh no, they blew up my car. Like, oh, oops. No, there's no oops in the master of, that tuning and all that. Yeah. I mean, by the time my schooling was, so when I started, I was like, hey, I want to be, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, that's where I'm going. And they were like, okay, sounds great. We have Toyota here, and they had Ford. And he's like, look, we're going to sign you up for Auto and Toyota. If you get into BMW, we can, work all that out later. And I was like, all right, cool. And it ended up, so I just I stayed with Toyota and I found the job at Toyota with it. I tried to get a job with Mercedes and my boy was a master tech there and I went in, interviewed. I mean, I'm covered in tattoos, short hair and everything. And the guy was like, do you want to be valet? And I'm like, no. Valet? I was like, you want me in these Mercedes-Benz people? Like, they don't want to see me. I'm in the back. I fix cars. So that struck out. And then there was like a tire. They didn't email me back. I'm like, all right. So I expanded my search to this 100-mile radius. That's where Team Toyota of Langhorne came into play. And I drove up there and I went there and I interviewed and they brought me on right away. And I remember I was already working at Toyota before I even started my Toyota classes. So I had auto and then I took Toyota. And then at the end of UTI, by the time I was done, I'm like, I just want to work full time. I'm done. 18 months. They had me in that power and performance and all the hot rod and stuff. And not that I don't like it, but I was like, I'm tired of 24 hours a day of car. Like I'm ready to, not eat McDonald's and stuff on the way to work and literally just gaining weight for no reason because you don't have a life. So I didn't really I kind of was done. I was like, look, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to go full time. And I mean, now 10 years later, it's like, yeah, I was ready for that.
And you're still with the same dealership that you started with?
Yes and no. So, okay. So I started at Team Toyota of Langhorne, and I was with them for about 6.5 years. And then I left there and went to Tri-County, which is up near me. And then I was there for about 1.5 years. And then Team Toyota of Glen Mills, was reaching out to me, wanted me to come talk to them. So I went to talk to them. So it's the same company. There's 3 dealerships in the company, but I am at a different location now. I mean, I'm all the guys I met at all 3 dealerships. I mean, most of them are great. I've made some lasting connections. I mean, I can hit people up from all over, like, yo, you seen this, and what are you doing with the new 22 Tundra, and this, that, and the third. I mean, it is a great world when you can kind of break in and make your own name for it. I mean, you do have to. I worked my ass off. I definitely earned my stripes. Clearly, you know, they keep coming. So
both literally and metaphorically. Yes.
Tiger for Halloween.
What do you attribute like your success to in the industry thus far?
Ooh. I want to say work ethic and dedication. I mean, I don't call out, no days off. Like I don't back down from a job either, and I'm not afraid to curse a manager out if I have to. Like, you know, I say that in the most respectful way. I've calmed down.
Like, I feel like there's a story there that we.
But you know, like in my first 6 or 7 years with the guys at Langhorne, they all taught me anything that, like, anytime I needed help, they were there, and anytime they needed me, you know, like bigger guys, you know, can you get under this dashboard? And I'm like, all right, I'm like a mouse, like, here, what do you need, you know? I think just like proving myself and just like not giving up, you know? I mean, I remember the one guy my first or second day, and he's like, day 1, you can borrow my tools. Day 2, you bring your own. And I was like, well, they're in the car. I don't know where to put them. I don't have a bag. Yeah, like, I mean, I got flack. I've gotten flack. I mean, it's no wonder I've like barreled through, and I'm just like, what do you want? Like, oh, sorry, you're being nice to me. Sorry. Like, I mean, and I'm hard now too. I mean, I'm just like, what? You gonna be here? Huh? Like, it's a rough career. It's hard.
Okay, I have a lot of questions. I want to break that down a second. Like, do you feel like did you meet gruffness with gruffness? Was that who you were to begin with? Did you learn that to combat people being harsh with you? Like, talk to me about like what just break that down for me.
Well, I feel like I've been rough my whole life. I've had a rough road. I have not had this cookie cutter life. I mean, I don't want to say wrong side of the tracks, but I might have wandered to the wrong side of the tracks 4 or 5 times
a day.
But I also, my first team leader, I mean, dude's great, but he was an a-hole, right? But he was one of those guys that didn't give me anything for free. Like, everything I got, I earned, which was great. I mean, he gave me quick keys to his toolbox, anything I needed to learn and stuff, he was there. But like, I couldn't just go to him and be like, PO 138. What now? It was like, you know, I probed this, I did this, I removed it. And so now I'm at the point in my career, it helped me greatly because I can work alone. You can throw me into any pile of whatever, and I'm like, I'll just start just taking stuff apart. Whatever, just rip it apart, diag it, figure it out, and get paid later. And like, a lot of people get under the misconception of like, how much is this gonna pay? What's it gonna pay me? Like, I'm just like, I don't know, the whole car's ripped apart, and you better pay me because you want it done, you know? So I think the roughness, I feel like I'm getting harder with time just because of the industry itself. You know, I think in my first 6 years, I want to say we hired 60, 70 guys that just, you know, revolving door, they don't last. You meet nice people, whether you like them personally or not, they might be a good or bad employee. So, I mean, I feel like there's a stigma around the whole auto industry, and I know that we're trying to, like, again, bring more women in because we've been shunned against this industry from the door, and it's like, well, wait, we can do it. And I bring a different element to my dealership. I'm like the shop mom, and I show up with donuts and cookies and birthday cards and cakes, and I'm like, it's your birthday? Here, let's go out, let's try to be together. It's not this you know, just you put a bunch of men in the room, they're just like, I don't care if it's your birthday, you know, whatever.
I love your energy. You crack me up because, like, on the one hand, you're like, don't mess with me. I'm going to get this done. Get out of my way. Let's make it happen. And then on the flip side, you're like, let's all have cookies.
I'm like, well, why don't you want my cookies? Like, they're good.
So you're shop mom / don't mess with me, one of the dudes. And
right. Like, I'm like the the guy on Nightmare Before Christmas. He can just turn his head around real quick and he comes, he's real happy, and then he's a meanie.
Oh my goodness. Your shop foreman that you talked about, your lead that was like kind of an a-hole, but also also there for you in different ways. Like, do you, in hindsight, like, do you feel like that was a huge benefit having a lead like that?
I really do. I remember when, like, I had only worked on the little express lube for like 2 months, and it was between me and this other guy to like get on the team. And I was still in school, so like I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, oh, just give me work. And they were like, oh, we took him, right? And I was like, that's fine. Like, they wanted to put me on a 4-post lift, and I'm only 5'2" as it is, and like, I was like, dude, I can't even see on top of half these cars. I said, I'll wait. So he ended up not making it on the team, and they brought me over. I had a bay and stuff. Everything was cool. And he's super nice, super friendly. I mean, like, to me, you know, he definitely, I want to say, had his guard up. You know, you don't just want to be like, oh, great, I got the girl. Oh, great. You know, how's this going to work? What's she going to need me to lift tires for her? You know, and he took me under his wing, but like almost like took me under a broken wing. Like, here, I got you. And I want to say it really did help, because I see a lot of people nowadays, and I'm watching like other dealerships now that I've been to 3 shops and met different people. Like, one big thing I have to say about this industry and the dealership life is like, or any mechanic life or body life, you need your own tools. You need your own stuff. Like, need to get your stuff, because what if I'm not here? You need to be able to do your job when I'm not here, whether I'm on vacation or I quit. And it becomes more evident, like, as people leave, and you know, the people that have like the best tool collection, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I used to borrow that from so and so. I used to borrow that. Yeah, me too, but I buy it. Oh, I borrowed that. I buy it. Because they're gone. And that, I want to say, that was the biggest thing that excuse me, he let me have keys to his toolbox, and I just took a note, like, all right, what am I borrowing off of him? What does he have? Okay. And I've built my own collection now. And I mean, it comes like, I'm like, what do I do now? Just start, you know, ripping tools out and going for it. And he really like made me believe in myself too. Like, just in that, like, you can read the same manual that I'm going to read. You can look up the same TSBs that I look up. And I'm going to be like, oh yeah, once you do, you know, a PO 171 100 times on the same car, needs an intake gasket. Like, you start realizing those bulletins and all that stuff. And I feel like a lot of the new kids aren't grasping that, as far as like, because they'll just come over and be like, oh, you know, you ever seen this? And it's like, yeah, I have. Have you?
Right. And no. I think you're absolutely right. Like, I had that same kind of a-hole initial leader for me. My first mentor, like the person who was put in charge of breaking me in at the dealership, so to speak. Right. Deal with the girl. Yeah. And I thought he was such a jerk, and I was so angry. Like, and in hindsight, I'm so glad I had a jerk for my first shop foreman. As much as I hated it in the moment, and I feel like that's something that I would love for other women and other young people in general to hear, is like, sometimes it's not meant in a bad way. Like, it is, like you said, he had as much faith that you could do it. And so it wasn't like a degrading thing. It wasn't like, oh, go figure it out yourself. It was like, yeah, go look it up. You're capable. Go figure it out, right? My shop foreman used to do the same thing. I'd go to him and ask for a question, and he's like, I'm pretty sure you took a class on that. Figure it out. Like, ooh, ouch, that hurts, but it hurt, right? And now I got to go figure it out. I don't have any other choice.
No, and it does. It makes you a better, like, tech, a better person. I mean, I've seen through my career how, like, I'm getting harder because I've met a bunch of people now, and it's like, you know, I call myself like the bridge between the old school and the new school, or the old guys and the young guys, just because of my age and kind of where I fit. I mean, I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. My kids are now, you know, teenagers. So I'm still kind of getting some of the little TikTok dances and stuff, but just trying to, like, hey, like, if you be careful, because if the shop segregates between old and new, no doubt the old's gonna leave eventually. They have to. I'm gonna have to in 10 or 15 or tomorrow. Like, it's gonna, you know, you never know what kind of opportunity comes, or, you know, the old guys with the hips and the knees. I've had surgeries. I mean, it's, if you let that gap get too wide, we're gonna be in a bigger deficit than we are in the entire automotive industry.
Yeah, Absolutely, 100%. And that's a really interesting point. And you touched on electronic vehicles or electric vehicles. Like, this is kind of a hot button topic. And, you know, I think it fits with this conversation of the old school, the new school, kind of getting lost in the midst. Like, what are your feelings on that? And what are you seeing in the dealership world when it comes to electric vehicles, and how are people responding?
People like
the
customer.
The technicians.
I mean, you have to be hybrid certified to do a lot. Like, obviously you can do oil changes, brakes, you know, you can fix an oxygen sensor, stuff like that. But when it comes to actual hybrid technology, if you're not hybrid certified, you're not touching it. And I think there's 5 people, including myself, that are hybrid certified. So
that's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not a lot. And I have a shop full of like 40 of us maybe. So yeah. Is
it that people don't want to get certified?
They need the ASEs. They need the ASEs. They need the classes. They need the tenure. I mean, it's like, it goes hand in hand with the same thing with my first team leaders. Show him what they want. Give them what they want. If you're not throwing these ASEs at your ASM and your service manager, what are they thinking of you? You know, they're just like, all right, well, you're here for, you know, the flushes and the inspections and the money. But like, in the long run, Toyota wants to go completely electric by 2030, as in they will not be producing internal combustion engines after 2030. I'm not 100% sure in the rest of the manufacturers, but I know we're coming there. I mean, look at the all-girl build. We put a hybrid in that car. So
right.
We're going forward with electric. It's where the technology is going. Whether you're for it or against it, it's the same thing with, you know, you're for or against wearing helmets riding a bike. I mean, you just have to go with the turn or risk a head injury. So, which I wear a helmet, but I did get a head injury. So figure that.
It's a fascinating analogy.
And we're not, I know, I didn't want to curse. I'm trying to be, you know, rated G.
So essentially learn how to work on electric vehicles or get a head injury, I think is how that went. No,
it's coming.
I think that's the point that I think is so interesting, is like, you know, there's all this talk about, I like electric vehicles, I don't like electric vehicles, whether you're for them or against them. Like, I get that, and I'm not even going to say whether I'm for them or against them. The reality is, if you're a technician and you want to keep working on cars,
yeah, get with it.
You have to learn them. And I think that's the thing that always stumps me too, is like, really, you've been working on hybrids, you've worked on gas engines, you've worked on all electric vehicles, not yet, or have you?
The plug-in and stuff is close enough. It still has an engine, but there's a hybrid plug-in are 2 different worlds too.
Right. So. But yeah, like, there's still like a ton of stuff that is like, there's carryover, right? You still have brakes, you still have suspension, you still have all of the amenities, the radio, the navigation, all of the things, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Is it really that much of a difference? I mean, most of our gas engine cars are still incredibly electrified, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think it's so different. I think it's more of like an intimidation, you know, with people just coming to terms with people who are, you know, and I don't want to like age generalize people, but people who came from the carburetor world and the, you know, late 90s vehicles where it was like rotate and balance every time and do this and do that. And I still sell a rotate and balance. I'm like, yo, you haven't rotated. I can tell. Like, there's just that people are afraid.
I don't like rotations.
Huh?
I don't like tire rotations.
I don't like tires.
Well, that too. No, I don't like recommending people do them. I'm not a fan. So I feel like if we swap your front tires to your back tires, if we swap them around, then it just masks the problem. Like, tires, how I tell if you have a suspension issue, and it would be like if you and I changed sneakers and then I went to the back doctor and he'd look at my shoes and he'd diagnose me with your problems. And so if you rotate your tires from front to back, then I wind up diagnosing the back of your car with the front of your car's problems.
Truth. I can agree with that. I can also disagree a little bit, only in the sense of like, if you're doing it every 5,000, and some of these people are driving so much now that like the tire tread's not even wearing. You're going from 8 30 seconds to 7 and your brake that up and stuff like that. Like, I don't recommend a balance unless it's like, you know, you have little Mary Sue's car that hasn't driven 3,000 miles in 10 years and her tires are from 2015. And I'm like, if I put these up front, and I agree with your masking too, because I get some cars where they're here for the tire and the loaf and the rotate, and you do the rotate, all they were there for was that, and they leave and then they come back, my car's making this noise, and I'm like, all right, well, pay me to rotate it back. So I agree, there's definitely a fine line there. Like, you know, they're like, you did something. I'm like, no, I put those tires up there. You have flat spots, you got bumps, you got feathers, you got edge wear, you got strut. Yeah. You know, I'm kind of so crazy that I've noticed all these things. So back to the whole, did I ever know that I was going to end up here?
Yeah.
I have watched cars on the highway driving, not cars, but like model brand, all that stuff. I'm always like Hyundai, this, that, the third. I've watched tires and struts and stuff do weird things on the highway my entire life. And I never knew it. And now I'm like, you need struts, you need an alignment, you need this. And I'm like, oh, can I ever turn it off?
You were always looking at that. Like, you
always looking at
it. There was something pulling you to cars even when you were younger.
Even when I didn't know, because I'm like, I always just see it. Like, I do have a very attentive personality, as in I'm always kind of looking around and paying attention. But like on the highway, I'm just like, why is that car wobbling like that? You just see the tire, and I'm like, now I know. Now it's like I wish I had a little text message, like, go to the shop.
I know. I want that all the time too. I want to make little like sticky things. Like, you know, those like things you get in like the corner store, little like you put the like 25-cent in and you get like a cheap toy and it comes in an egg. Like, but the stringy guy, I want this stringy guy with the message on his chest that says you need new brakes, and like they'll just throw it at cars as they drive by. Like, adjust your valves. You have a hole in a piston in a cylinder.
Yeah, because people have I mean, and then they wonder, all of a sudden they come in, you're like, you need a trans. Like, do I? Like, do you? Like, you've never been here.
You not hear that.
Right? People get it. I have a noise. I'm like, you have a lot of noises. Which one do you want me to talk about?
Which one? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. We have been all over the place. We are at 10 minutes left in our hour because time goes way too fast. So I want to touch on a couple of things. How did people in your life react when you made the switch and decided to go like full bore into the automotive world?
I will say my family was 100% supportive. They were just like, you know, they could see it. They're like, all right, yeah, go for it. A lot of the mechanic guys, not a lot, I'll say a good few, like 5 or 6 were like, don't do it. You won't make no money. You're going to get dirty. That's ridiculous. You're not going to make it. Da, 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 da. I mean, there was some flack, and I'm like, well, I'm already enrolled, so oh well.
Too late now.
Too late, gonna go do it. And then it's all I can do now is look back, and I'm like, what if I did listen to somebody that told me no, not to do it? I mean, I've been told no my entire life, whether it was a teacher, a parent. I've been told I had the worst handwriting in my life at 3rd grade. I was like, oh. And now people are like, you write so well. I'm like, oh, really? I don't know what's good or bad. I mean, it's insane that you think that like people have your best interest at heart, that they're your friends, they're your acquaintances, your coworkers, and you're like, I'm gonna go do this, and it's like, no, don't, you won't make it, it's terrible, it's dirty. And like, I got one chance from my old service manager, Jim Montella at Langhorne, and I talked to him not too long ago, and I was like, thanks for that chance. He's like, nah, that was all you. He was like, that was all you. You came in, and I mean, he had my back from day one. And I mean, I didn't even have a tool when I walked in. I'm like, what do I need? Tell me what I need. I'll go get it. Because I mean, you just don't know. I mean, it's amazing what you can do when you're given a chance. That's like my biggest mantra used to be, I just want to be a better technician than the technician who I was yesterday. But like now it's like, it's amazing what you can do when you're given one chance. I mean, look, I got to come out and do body work with you and metal and welding, and just opened up. I mean, I'm going to be at SEMA. I'm going to get to meet all kinds of amazing women in this build. And I mean, like, these friendships and the people that you've brought together is just an amazing accomplishment.
Well, I appreciate that. However, similar to your shop foreman or your manager that had your back, right, is like, given a chance, yes, but how many people are given chances regularly and don't take advantage of them, right? There's chances everywhere. There's opportunities everywhere. And most of the time we don't see them. We don't take advantage of them. we're
Yep.
not even aware that they're happening. And so it is all you. Like he gave you the job, but like you went with it and you went full bore and you turned it from an opportunity as a lube tech to being a master technician. So that's no small feat.
Well,
And that is
thank
all
you.
you.
Thank you. And even still, I mean, even just having the little interview with Tech Force Foundation, she's like, "Do you know Bogey?" And I'm like, "No, what? She's doing the build. What a chance I took coming out to Phoenix alone. I mean, I literally, going, booked, sorry. Even my dealership, they were like, "Do you want us to pay? We'll send you." And I'm like, "Oh, I already booked it because I was just going to do it anyway." So, like, it's like, if you don't make it happen, it won't happen. I mean, I literally, listen, I can get on a plane next week. Let me know when the auto's happening. It was only a 4 hour. It wasn't the worst. So I mean, I
Come
came home.
out, come out.
I even got my Saguaro.
I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it. You got to come out for a weekend, like next
All
week.
right,
This
I'll
coming
make it
weekend
happen.
or next weekend.
I'll make it happen. I got to make it happen. I mean, this is just too big. I mean, thank you for even being out here to just bring us women together. I mean, I wouldn't even known. I met like 8 people that weekend, just in that weekend, and I was like, I don't want to leave. How can I not leave? Like, my boss, don't not come back. I'm like, I want to go to Phoenix. It was great. I want to go back.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. There weren't so many amazing women out there. So, you know, you being out there kicking butt. And I was just talking to somebody about this recently. Like, you know, we see online, we see on social media that the handful of women who are posting pictures of themselves working. But the reality is there are a ton of other women in the trades that we never hear about, that we never see. You know, folks like yourself, you were just out there doing your thing, right? Like you were just at the dealership, you know, nose down, getting it done, you know, rocking it and totally winning at the game, but nobody knows about you. Nobody knew about you. You didn't know about all the rest of us out here. And I want to like remind people like there are a ton of amazing women out there that you just don't see because they're just out there quietly kicking ass and taking names like Kristen. So you are making a huge difference in your way and in your space and with the people who you interact with. And I'm just so grateful that I had the opportunity to get to know you and meet you and work with you. So
I am grateful I had the chance to come out there. I said, now I get to go on the happy hour, and I already met Bogey, so this is like a double win. And then we get to hang out next month anyway, and if not, next weekend. So let me
there we go. Make it happen. All right. So we have 5 minutes left. So I want to end on, you've already like dropped a ton of like advice for future gens coming up and people out in the field. And I think if anybody was listening, they got a ton of value from your experience and what allowed you to be successful. But I want to kind of end on this note is if you had the opportunity to talk to the younger you, little baby Kristen Breslin, what is your advice to her?
Never stop talking, never give up, and don't let anybody put any barrier in front of you that you're not willing to go head first and go for it. Because even now, you know, it's like getting to Phoenix was a barrier, getting to SEMA was a barrier, getting this next whatever my next, you know, move is. I mean, there's a barrier every day that we face personally. So I mean, just don't give up. Give yourself what you would give other people. We're so quick to, you know, dive in and get these relationships where you're like, oh my God, I love you. No, love yourself and push yourself first and push yourself.
Wait, slow down, Ma, because that was a gem. Say that again. Give to yourself. Say that again.
Can we rewind?
She said, be willing to give to yourself what you
be willing to give to yourself what you would give to other people. Everybody is so quick to just give themselves to other people, but you need to be willing to give that to yourself first, because you can't give to other people unless you're full yourself. I mean, you have to believe in yourself and believe that you deserve it before you think anybody else does.
That
the chances
is
are there, like you said, the chances are there.
That is a gem. Thank you for leaving us on that note. That is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. We are out of time. So I thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me virtually for this hour. Come back to Phoenix and help us finish this car. If not, I will see you at SEMA, but we'll talk offline a little bit more for sure. Everybody who tuned in, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed meeting Kristen and hearing a little bit about her story and her energy. Clearly, she is passionate about what she does. She's got a ton of energy and ton of enthusiasm. And I hope you heard that last little nugget that she left us all with. Be willing to give to yourself what you give to others and take care of yourself. Guys, huge thank you to my sponsor, Drive Time, for helping make this possible. Huge thank you to all of you for tuning in every week. Huge thank you to you, Kristen, for spending part of your night with me. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I will see you guys later.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, Boogie.